Hello, how you doing today? I hope you're well. I have some messages for you, and we'll start again with my two decks here. Creative Whack Pack. This is divination cards. It's not for tarot, however they're clarifiers for my angel tarot. These are all red in the upright, and they're really optimistic and positive cards. Alright, so I'm going to see with the angel first what our spread is. What are you dealing with? Where are you right now? Alright, so start with Nine of Wands. Determination. Alright, so you may be feeling a bit burdened, maybe not overwhelmingly so, but you're definitely deep. You're in deep, and you're doing your direct purpose. You're trying to, I feel as though it might not be like the most glorified version of your ascension, right? It may not be the coolest, but you're going towards the right general style in your life. You know, you're maybe creating your wardrobe, your aesthetics looking different, and you're kind of toiling away, but you're continuing determined, right? And the Nine of Wands can be determination in many forms, but right now I'm feeling that it's for like a strand. You're weaving, you're knitting the shawl which you'll live your life with, and you're doing a part of it. It's not the completion, but you're not going to give up. Alright, so I'm determined on that. What do we got? Four of Pentacles. Control. I don't know, feeling mid on this card. The Four of Pentacles. So what we're going to do is consult the little book here. Control, order, security, conservatism. If you have suffered financial stress recently, the Four brings a reassurance that your situation will improve. The card reveals security and a return to order, with spending under control and relationships stable and content. Downside, yeah. So what you're dealing with right now is a bit of a feeling of reeling in the fish, where you've had kind of a day out in the pond, in the lake, you're just fishing, and you're pulling nothing. But you've got something on the hook. Maybe before, you're in Stardew Valley pulling up dirty shoes, right? And then now you're not giving up, right? You're determined. You're out here. It's been 3-4 hours, right? But the sun's down in the sky. It's not down enough yet for you to leave. You're not going to give up. But you're dealing with a little bit of, depression. The bait's fallen off the hook. You've had to put your resources on the line again and again, and you've bet on it and nothing happened. However, you're going to catch something. You're going to get something because your determination is pushing through. Even if it's functionally small, right? You might catch 1 or 2 small fish, but if you keep your mind at it, you will, and you'll learn this lake. You'll figure out what to control. But you're also figuring out how to control your finances, the resources, which are going into your current project. Alright, we got the Queen of Cups. I really like the Queen of Cups. She's got a cool depiction in this deck. The card is very beautiful with her. She's got a full figure. She reminds me of one of the Valkyries from an old play with those horns. But she's in her element. She's a queen. And she's holding this cup in a big clam. If you remember Coraline, maybe you remember that play in the other world where those old ladies, they're in the seashell area. But if you don't, it's fine. Really, what these energies accumulate into, she's freedom. She reminds me of the Statue of Liberty. Emotional sovereignty is what you're working with. So psychologically might be where you're fishing. You're maybe melding different psychological tools, right? Coping mechanisms. You could be looking to find the ways that you control your mental playback, right? You want to have control where you're looking off in the direction with calm poise, right? She's not worried. Her stance is controlled. She's deep in a foundation, like a statue, with a kind of like a pillar, where it's got a strong, sturdy base. And she's looking up with all her energy. Her emotions are aligned. Her chakras are in one straight line. She's holding her gift because she's going to put it to use. She's putting it towards herself, but present in this energy is there's this sensation maybe that she's kind of guarding it. Maybe that control, right? She's feeling sturdy. She feels in alignment. And that's where you're going. But we're feeling a little bit stonewalled in terms of creating more, right? With the heart. There would be wishing for something to heal, to give. You want something to give. Alright, so Spirit's telling me to take another card here. We'll do the creative whack pack. So, where you're at right now, you're pushing yourself in a paced manner. It's kind of giving you solemn reward, but you're keeping true because you can tell you're containing sovereignty. You're creating a place with a solid foundation psychologically to create a journey, a point. You're figuring out how to align your emotions and then fixate on a purpose, which will, well, let's see. What will help your figuring out how to get that purpose? Loosen up, right? So maybe this determination, it might be 60% good, 30-40% bad, alright? We're being told to loosen up, right? And I like this card a lot. But with the determination, you want to loosen up on the fire, right? This is the energy of fire. They're burdensome. Each one is a specialty. You know, it's like a trade tool bag. You're a plumber, you're an electrician, you're a musician, you're a teacher, and you've got a bag for each one of those, and you're kind of carrying a lot of them around, right? But you're kind of feeling like, well, putting purpose to my work, to my world, right? I want to be purposeful when I work. So I want to have what I need when I get there. But what you're doing is you're winding yourself way worse than what you need. But okay, so we'll figure that out a little bit better. But determination, we're going to loosen up. I got to tell you a little more about that. So the determination you're feeling can be loose in the sense that you're going to gain freedom for yourself by having the sovereignty with the lesser, right? You don't need to grip all of your gifts so tightly and have them motivating you for kind of a dreadful sensation where you're looking to control things, you're trying to put pieces together, you're in the boat and you've got a million different setups, right? Fishing, you've got tackle for every type of fish and squid and stuff, but you're just finding almost nothing. And you're almost wasting your time going through a rotation of figuring things out. Figure out how to feel loose, loosen up. So with this card, we've got the little blurb here. It's fun. I like these cards because they all have these cool stories, different morals. And this one says, it's not so important to be serious as it is to be serious about the important things. The monkey has an expression of seriousness that would do credit to any great scholar. But the monkey is serious because he itches. What can you take less seriously? Businessman monkey. Yeah, that guy's making a whole world out of his worries. But why would you do that? We look at dogs and animals. Where is their worry? Where is their anxiety? Even if they're starving, there's predators around. They're too immersed in their motive, in their moment. And they're really reaching out to create in the capable, clear, present, conscious way. So, with Loosen Up, we're trying to pressure ourselves towards 1, 2, or 3 objectives, but put motion in it. So we're not going to keep on. We want to go towards this energy, right? This is the energy you're kind of going into, but you're feeling caught up in control. Feeling her energy, you're going to be focused on one point, an objective where you're feeling potential for filling up emotionally. Feeling good is going to come from feeling loose. Feeling free to experiment and form your own to figure out your way with what you've got, but not making use of all of your tools and pressuring yourself into finding a way to use them all, right? So that's a feeling I'm getting right now. You've kind of gotten yourself to a point emotionally and psychologically where you're feeling the presence of many gifts, many ideas, many energies can benefit you at this time, but feeling them all is conscious progress. But for the physical world, for your psychological strengthening, you're going to want to focus on what is contained here. What can you work on in the feelings that you've forged the best? What's going to get you your meal tonight? What's going to help you figure out what brings in a fish? All right, it's been 3 or 4 hours in the boat. We've lost some tackle. We want a win. Feel it out. Figure out what's going to get you even a little fish, and what, as you're waiting, can you imagine that will help you figure out the next step, where if this is only the subpar answer, we're, proceeding in a way which is going to get us something at the very least, right? Because you don't want to look here, look there, look up and down, and then miss one of the opportunities that comes. But have patience on 1 or 2 opportunities and figure out where the next opportunity is for better. All right, so here we're going to move on. Might have stayed on that for a little too long, but it's important. I'm figuring out how to talk these things because they're not my energy. I've got to create a bridge from my understanding. But, all right. So we're figuring out we got to free up our control over these energies, which are feeling important, but also feeling like a burden. They're feeling too detrimental to take all of them at once. We feel like we want to fixate on a point. We're going to get patient. Where does that patience come from? Because I'm feeling an anxiety, the fire, fiery fury, angry energy in this card a little bit. It feels kind of like you've got a furious determination, and it's a feeling of nice pride, hope, but it's more pride than hope, and it feels a bit heavy with this 4 of Pentacles. you're fixing yourself for a breakdown. It's gonna be something small or minor if you don't kind of change your feelings. All right. So where are we gonna go if we want to be strong, stronger than we are now, with a fixed point of view, with patience? Something strong. Six of Pentacles. Generosity. So I believe in the traditional Rider-Waite. This is where someone's giving pentacles to beggars. Let's see, Earth. Alright. So you may be wanting to get involved. Get involved with something where you can give love. That's where it is. We want to give kindness, our community. Alright? So, where are we? The Six of Pentacles. Generosity, prosperity, sharing, kindness. Right? We're going to free up our energy, our anger, the density, the tension, with full kindness for, I feel like, kids, you know? If you have little cousins, little brothers and sisters, if you have in your community, you know, I don't know if you're a teacher, something like that. If you have the opportunity to kind of connect with children and give them kindness, give them the kind of freedom of love that you felt when you were a child, or like a kid, you know, giving compliments as another kid, like, oh wow, you know how to do that, right? Just kind of give some time, give some emotional, right, commitment. So we're gonna give the six is the giving card, and the generosity goes both ways. You may receive a welcome gift, money, a personal item, or donated time, or be the helper, reaching out to others in need because you absolutely understand their predicament. Yeah, the predicament. I'm feeling almost like you're feeling like there's commitment you should make, but maybe you're not making it. Maybe you could contribute to wonder in the feeling in someone's life. You may be able to call up on your inner child and give justice to people. Something like that, right? You're capable of getting some kind of gift over to somebody emotionally, and it will free your tension and love up for use. Interesting. Let me give quietly, with compassion, and without discussion, and do so because it's the right thing. I'm being called it doesn't matter anymore. Okay, so you're gonna give some commitment, some kind of love, some shared, some kind of shared presence with somebody, communicating, connecting, where your point of view will open up a door where you can exchange energy. What does that look like, Spirit? The High Priestess. Wow, well, people are all going to be different, right? But you're maybe spiritually gifted. You're maybe somebody who has the presence of an angel, of an important and intuitive empath, right? Greatness is in you. That's what I'm hearing. Genuinely, I feel that. Like your spiritual gift, your spiritual godlike highness. I'm honored to meet you. No, you're genuinely super. You're really shining. You're precious. You're precious. You sharing sharing the new gifts. Something like maybe you're in the 144, right? You may be a part of the angels on earth, something like that. You're the angel of power in terms of giving your gift, and she's holding the golden book, this golden rule book to teach, and the study of its high power. The high priestess, bearing the moon on her head. It can sometimes be a dark image, a dark power when presented negatively. But people in this deck are always positioned upright. So we're going to take it with positive energy because you're powerful. You're precious. The world needs you. That is going to really change the life that your people need. All right, you have people, you're connected, you have ties, you're an emotional person. I could tell. You have team, loyalty, creativity. You create bonds, tethers emotionally, bonds, the family around you. So, sorry, to get a little bit more concrete. You're feeling a little stunted in terms of the determination you're feeling to put all this energy into the paper, right? But precious and emotional energy is going to be better used if you focus on a micro. It's not that you have to look small, but focus on simplicity. Be a character in the lives of the people around you, to the precious ones in your life. Your care is going to present their awakening to growth spiritually. You're going to create openings for people, and it's a precious thing, but punching holes in their worldview isn't really what I'm feeling. With this angel of power, the high priestess, I'm feeling like you could potentially have punched holes in people's world view, and it felt like you were futzing it up. You weren't fixing it. But what you were trying to do maybe is compensate by putting all of these feelings together in a kind of blurry, cohesive mess. Well, I don't want to call it that because you're not a mess. You're freeing energy. You're generous. You have generosity and stuff. But I'm feeling where you're figuring this out is fixing between all of your emotion in one point versus scattering it in a lot of points, many points. It's different than if you just spend it, instead of on one, to concrete, in terms of like talking with somebody, freeing up their feelings and energy emotionally to focus on their important path. Someone's angry. Yeah. Maybe you're feeling angry energy from the people that you poked holes in without meaning that. Then you kind of adapted, right? So when you're continuing this journey with the power you feel, so that was important because you're firmly taught learner. You're learning the power spiritually, right? You could bring that to people and it's great. It generates a lot of emotional truth teaching moments. What can you do to bring that power and presence? I'm getting that you can read. I'm feeling an energy. Maybe some of you write. Maybe some of you like books. Maybe there's something with that vibe of literary, library, volunteer at a library. That's what I'm feeling. Something like maybe, but it's functionally easy. It's not going to be like a huge leap from, most of you. You're just going to kind of gain this energy transfer, like you're not going to think the same. When you talk to people, first it'll be a little itchy, it'll be kind of sorting it out in the mind, but you're going to functionally figure out how to facilitate people's spiritual awakening in a fun, feeling way, empathy. Focus on empathy. So where do we focus on empathy? What's the energy we can do? Where does this collective need to focus their energy in order to free their gifts? We'll finish the reading with this. I'm feeling a bit like I'm clamming up with the energy now. I kind of don't feel like there's much more for me to say, because I'm also exploring my gifts and how to communicate the best. I feel so much when I'm facilitating this. So, feeling Six of Cups. Six of Cups, the emotional card, support. So this is sharing, support. So you could be the guardian angel, the shoulder to lean on. If that doesn't feel like it resonates for you, maybe think of the other ways that you can. An entity. You could be entities. Something about entities, like your entities. Maybe share your true playfulness. Support. Figure out the support that you need to share because you see it in the world. Like, if your algorithm is set up for bad, you're seeing shocking and bad stuff, start shifting it. And then when you shift it, see the nice stuff. See the little things where people kind of lose their smile, and figure out in your own real life where you can facilitate people to feel supported with that fun, like feeling human. Nice society. Give the gift of equanimity. We're both sharing. We have all these cups. Just one cup is enough, and you can go after a point and feel alive. But 2 cups might feel better, might feel safer. We all deserve 10 cups. The 10 of Cups meaning home, and just soul fulfillment, heart fulfillment. But 6 of Cups, we're kind of like structured, community, grateful, free, feeling into our energies comfortably. Really create comfort for special people, for realistic growth in people. So I'm gonna get one more to close it out, honestly. I know I just said that, but here's the card we'll stop on. 6 of Wands. So we got 2 6s. Oh, we got 3 6s. So here we go. This is Spirit was yelling at me. I was like, no, it's not right. 6 of Wands, recognition. So more wands. I gotta check this card. Fiery energy. Feeling like maybe someone's checking you. Someone's trying to strip you, right? It's invasive. Stop it. You don't need to say stop it, though. You don't need to say anything to them. You should show no immense feelings to them. All right? There's someone trying to shut you down. That's what it is. Because I feel this energy made me feel like somebody looking at you like angry, like sullen, thinking that, like, why do you think that? You think that you're thoughtful? Really? Why? Right? Things that just make you shut down and shut up, right? Somebody wants you to simmer down. But we're not going to do that. Because those people, they're going to fade away like a grease stain after a wipe or two. Like your car when it rains, there's like dried water splotches. You just rub a watery rag on it, all right? And that rubbing of a watery rag is going to be you pressing into your reliance, your self-structure, right? So 6 of Wands, recognition, victory, progress, self-confidence. One of the most positive cards in the minor arcana. The 6 reveals visible success. You win and deserve the accolades, support, and confidence that this victory brings. Right, so I feel like, all right, that free energy, I definitely do agree. You're feeling the victory. The vibe is finishing this reading, but there's the feeling that I'm getting where there's somebody who's trying to shut you down, right, is from the fact that wands can be messages, they're fire, they're kind of explosive, all right? And the feeling from this card wasn't initially like, it did feel like a fiesta or something, but it felt also like a fiery, somebody, false dignity, false dignification, false dignifies, right? Whatever. You're getting somebody who's indignant about your victory, about your soul victory, all right? And where I'm feeling that is because we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, and the 6 of Wands, all right? So we're feeling this vibe of 666. In numerology, 6 is a card that represents the need to spiritually ground. We just talked about doing that. So, we're grounding, we're going to shift in a deeper emotional gratitude where we are generous, right? But you've got the 666, and because they're all pretty positive cards, it doesn't feel like there's any warning for you. It feels more like this final card was feeling like fidgety with victory. All right, but we're going to stop it there. Before that, though, I will finish by just reading the 6 of Wands. This is your victory card. Others acknowledge your achievements, and you can hold your head high. This gives you the validation that you have been waiting for. In readings, the card often comes up to predict great marks in examination and tests. You're going to get tests from people, and they're not going to be able to press you anymore. You're graduating. Personal projects, charity events, right? So you're getting generous, you're giving, you're generating energetic progress in the real people who care about their lives. And the other ones, they can all fall away. Be willing, really be willing to let that life, let that fall away. I guess I'm pushing my limits at like 30 minutes, but I feel like it can communicate the best stuff and I get in depth. So I'll talk to you later. Love you all. Take care of yourself and keep the vibes high.